Hey, what's up, VC? I'm back with another video. This is just a big update video since I haven't made one in a while. This is going to be just everything I've picked up in the last 2 months or so, buying off eBay, going shopping at Half Price Books, other stores, different record stores, a contest I actually won, album I bought, a pre-order, even the shirt, and this is everything from, CDs, cassettes, records, 8-tracks, all sorts of stuff. So this is probably going to be a long video. I apologize in advance, but figured I'd do this for you guys and just show everything instead of making separate little videos. But let me know in the future if y'all want long videos like this, because I can definitely make longer videos showing all sorts of stuff instead of just small videos. But yeah, let me know. And do stick this video out because there's a lot of stuff in here. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. So we're just going to get right into it. Show the cassettes first because not as many people care about those. Found Malmsteen Fire and Ice, an album I didn't have on cassette. Odyssey, the album with Joe Lynn Turner, my favorite Malmsteen album. This great album. Hurricane Over the Edge, this is one I'd heard of but never really listened to. And it features, actually, I was looking at it, it features Kelly Hansen on vocals, who now sings with Foreigner, I believe. So, yeah, this is a great album. I'd never heard it, and cranked it on the way home after buying this at Half Price Books and loved it. Then I found Frank Marino Juggernaut. This is a great album as well. Got the song Strange Dreams on it, which is really good. Then found a copy of Y&T 10. It's a great Y&T album. Got Hard Times, Lucy, Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, and one of my favorite Y&T songs, Surrender. So that was cool to find. Then we got Vinnie Vincent Invasion. All Systems Go. This is the one that has the song Love Kills on it. I guess their big radio hit. I mean, I've never listened to a whole lot of his stuff, of Vinnie Vincent's music, but that's the song that I knew. And then Rainbow Down to Earth. Great album with Graham Bonnet on vocals. And Billy Thorpe, Children of the Sun. Couldn't believe I found this on cassette. This is one of my favorite albums ever. When I do like my top 10 albums of all time, this will definitely be on that list. It's just such a cool, I guess you'd call it concept type album, because it tells the story of, basically, I'll sum it up. The first side's not, it's just some music, but the second side, it talks about aliens coming to the Earth after the apocalypse and, picking up the humans and taking them to a different planet that hasn't been destroyed like Earth. And it's just really cool. So I'll leave a link down below to that. I'll find a playlist of all the songs from that side. And it's just a really, really cool album. But I have it on cassette now, have it on vinyl, and it's also out on 8-track. So I'm going to track down a copy of that because I'd love to own it on all the different formats. This is just a great album. Then I found one 8-track, Conway Twitty, Play Guitar Play. It's pretty cool. And then I guess we'll go into the thing I won. There is a female blues guitarist that I went and saw last year with Gary Huey, or is that how you say it? Hoey, Gary. I don't know how you say his name, but he's a great guitarist. I'm sure everybody knows who he is. But this girl opened up for him, and she kicked ass. And she just released a new album, and, I added her on Facebook, and she was, I entered the contest or whatever, and I ended up winning. So what I got was her newest album called Puppet Show. It is the Ali Venable Band. This is a great album. I'll link some of her stuff down below. She's just a fantastic blues rock guitarist. I mean, if you listen to, the stuff that I listen to, Buddy Guy, Leslie West type stuff, Rory Gallagher, those Joe Bonamassa and stuff like that, she's right up there with them, and she's got a fantastic voice. I love female vocalists, and her voice is just great, and her guitar playing, I mean, it isn't just some bullshit stuff. It seriously kicks ass. So I'm probably going to order a couple more copies of this. She has them on sale on her website, and she'll sign them, and I'll send them out as VCLT. But yeah, definitely check this out if you get a chance. So there's what that looks like. And then she also sent me this signed picture, which was really cool. Made it out to me, and she signed it there. So thank you so much, Ali, for that if you watch this video. Yeah, so definitely I'll be doing a whole review on this album soon, because it blew me away. And then another thing I pre-ordered Saxon's most recent album, Thunderbolt. This actually came out a couple months ago, but I just never got around to showing it. And I got it from Newberry Comics, and it was $20 for this version, and it came with a fully signed insert, which is really cool. Her booklet, signed by the whole band. didn't have anything in my collection signed by Saxon, so that's really cool. And the album itself kicks ass. I mean, Saxon, absolutely killer. You know, Judas Priest just released a new album, and everybody's ranting and raving about that one, but I haven't even heard it yet. I just haven't gotten around to picking it up. I know I'm missing out, but this album was killer, and I'm going to see Saxon open for Judas Priest at the end of this month, so that's going to be a killer show. So yeah, bought that for like $20, which was a good deal. Then I also bought this. It's something I've been looking at for a little while, but just never pulled the trigger on it before, and I'm glad I did. It's Ozzy Osbourne's Memoirs of a Madman. It's a DVD set, 2 DVD set. Here, I'll show the track list here real quick. But what this is just, the first DVD is his music videos. You know, you have the big hits, Bark at the Moon, Ultimate Sin, Lightning Strikes, Crazy Train, Miracle Man, Crazy Babies, and, you know, all the way up to his most recent stuff. And then some alternate takes and stuff like that. But the second disc is what I really wanted this for. And it is a bunch of live performances and interviews and stuff. And this has some really cool stuff. It's got Rochester, New York, 1981. I Don't Know, Suicide Solution, Mr. Crowley, and Crazy Train, of course, with Randy, which is amazing. And then you have Albuquerque, New Mexico, 1982, doing Over the Mountain. And that's some pro shot footage with Randy as well. So that's absolutely killer. There, you know, there's not a lot of Randy pro shot footage out there. And then you have, you know, the stuff that with Night Ranger's guitarist Brad Gillis playing Fairies Wear Boots. And then, you know, you go through the Jake stuff, and then you've got Zakk Wylde, just all sorts of stuff, some demo sessions and recording sessions and live stuff. And if you get a chance to pick this up, I mean, you can find it on eBay for a little over $10. It is definitely worth it. This is absolutely killer. And I know I'm just stumbling or mumbling, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I really wanted to hype that up because it's worth it. Then I bought this Ozzy lot off eBay for like $20, which was a good deal. Diary of a Madman, one of my favorite Ozzy albums. I like it better than Blizzard of Oz, just because I just do. And then we have Blizzard of Oz, which is also a killer album. I just don't like it as much as Diary of a Madman. We have The Ultimate Sin. This is an original copy from 1986. Yeah. Then we have No Rest for the Wicked. It's a killer album. This is an album I'd always put off. I was never, you know, I listened to Zakk Wylde's playing, and I just, comparing him to Randy and Jake, I just didn't really like his pinch harmonic stuff that he did. But after listening to this, I've gotten used to it. And I actually prefer his playing over those two, which is a huge statement coming from me because I'm a huge Randy fan and a huge Jake fan. But with Ozzy, I mean, this album and No More Tears are just flawless albums all the way through. I mean, Miracle Man, Breaking All the Rules, Bloodbath in Paradise, Fire in the Sky, Tattooed Dancer, Demon Alcohol. It's just a great album. And then, of course, Bark at the Moon. This is still my favorite Ozzy album. With Jake... Bark at the Moon, Center of Eternity, Rock and Roll Rebel, Slow Down. Got some bonus tracks, so that's cool. Then on to this one, got Elvis Moody Blue. Not much I can say about this. I just had this on vinyl, didn't have it on CD. Then on to some country stuff for you country guys. I bought this country lot off eBay. Had some cool stuff in it. I actually won this for like $2 with like $4 shipping, so $6 for a bunch of CDs, and this is just the highlights. Johnny Cash, American 5, 100 Highways, one of his later albums, so that's cool. We have Hank Jr., 127 Rose Avenue. Merle Haggard, I Am What I Am. Merle Haggard and Willie Nelson, Django and Jimmy. Then we have this Hank Jr. comp. That's How They Do It in Dixie. Then Willie Nelson Heroes. Then The Best of Waylon Jennings, 2 CD set. Legendary Johnny Cash, 2 CD set as well. Biggest Hits, Waylon Jennings. So that was cool stuff. Then on to more CDs. This was in there too. Hank Williams. The Hits Like I Never Before, the unreleased recordings. What this is they remastered, all his original stuff, which is cool. And it also has a complete show from 1981, some live stuff, which isn't very common. So that was cool to add to the collection. Then just go with some stuff I bought. Blue Murder, an album I had never heard, but I knew what it was, so picked it up at Half Price Books for $2. And it was well worth it. It's got John Sykes from Whitesnake and Thin Lizzy, Vinny Appice, I think, on drums. Let me look real quick. Or Carmine, that's the one that plays on here. That's the brother that plays on here. And Tony Franklin from The Firm plays bass. Fretless bass. I love his bass sound, and this album just rocks. Definitely was missing out. I'm glad I have that in my collection now. Then got John Wetton, Jeff Downs, Icon Live. After they left Asia, or Asia split up or whatever, John Wetton got replaced by John Payne, and I won't listen to that Asia stuff. I mean, it sounds okay. It's just Asia to me is John Wetton. His voice is just that iconic. But anyway, they did some albums called under the name Icon, and this is one of the live shows. You know, it had some Asia stuff on it, and then some of the stuff they did. But yeah, great sounding live show. Definitely glad I picked that up. And then we have Killers, Murder One. This Paul Di'Anno's band later on in the 80s, I believe, 90s maybe, 1992. This is killer. I mean, it sounds like the early Maiden stuff to me, and I love it. He probably is my favorite Maiden singer. Those first two albums are just both killer. So that was cool to find. And then I got Legs Diamond, Uncut Diamond. This was actually an album that they had recorded in the 70s, but it never got released. They just didn't release it, and they finally released it in the 90s. And yeah, it's a great album. Just, you know, early Legs Diamond. If you know, not a lot of people know about them, but early Legs Diamond, great stuff. And this is a great album. And then got Red Dragon Cartel's first album. Of course, Jakey Lee's newer band. This is a great album. Got different people on vocals. You got Robin Zander from Cheap Trick on one of the songs, Paul Di'Anno, Maria Brink, Sass Jordan, people like that. So it was really cool. It's a great album, and I needed it for my collection, so added that to my collection. And then I ordered the new Michael Schenker-Fest album, Resurrection. It's a good album. I think it was a little hyped up. Not a huge fan of it. You know, I love the songs that have Robin McAuley and Graham Bonnet and Gary Barden on vocals, but I've never been a big fan of Doogie White's voice. I saw Michael with Doogie White on the Temple of Rock tour a couple years ago. I mean, he was a great vocalist live, but the stuff that he did with Michael and recorded, I've just never been big on it. I mean, he's a great singer. I'm not going to say he's not, and he was a great guy. I met him, and he was really cool, but, you know, he's on a lot of these songs, and I wish Michael would have gotten the older singers to sing on more of the songs instead of having him on them. But other than that, it is a great album. You know, hearing new stuff from those guys. I actually was planning on going to see the Michael Schenker Fest when they came to San Antonio last weekend, but I had something come up and couldn't go, and I am still kicking myself for not being able to go, because I know that was a once-in-a-lifetime show to see all the original singers with Michael, and I know I'll never get to see that again, but I have this, and yeah, so I'm not going to dog on that too much. And then got some Mountain stuff. Over the Top, this is a 2 CD compilation just of the early stuff and then some newer stuff, and it had some new recordings that weren't released until the set came out, so that was cool. Queensryche Live Evolution, it's just a live album with a bunch of their stuff on it. You have the early stuff from the EP and the Warning, and then you have Rage for Order and Mindcrime. Operation Mindcrime is one of my favorite albums of all time. I know other people in the VC say that too, but I'd love to see that live, and I'm actually going to this summer, hopefully. Jeff Tate is coming to the House of Blues and doing an Operation Mindcrime tour, so hopefully I'm going to get to see him play this album, or Mindcrime, in its entirety. I wish I could have seen it back in the day in its entirety, but this will work for me, because that is, like I said, one of my favorite albums of all time. Just a great album all the way through. And then speaking of that, found this at Half Price Books for a couple bucks. Queensryche, Mindcrime at the Moor. What this is both the Mindcrime albums. I've listened to the second one, and I don't like it as much as the first, but it's still a good album. But the first one, The first disc is the complete first album, and then the second disc is the second album, and it has some bonus tracks. It has Walk in the Shadows, which is one of my favorite Queensryche songs, and then some bonus tracks. It has a version of the song The Chase with Ronnie James Dio as Dr. X, so that was really cool. So this was really cool to find and cool to watch. Then I got Leslie West, Dodging the Dirt. One of his blues albums he put out in the 90s with his Steinberger. It's killer. I mean, it's got some re-recorded songs like Hang Me Out to Dry he actually did with Ian Gillan back in the day, and then he re-recorded it for this album. But it's just a great album. I love Leslie West. I will always hype him up. Anybody that hasn't listened to his music, definitely check it out. I'll leave a link to some of these songs down below. So yeah, definitely go check that out. Then on to some more CDs I found at Half Price Books. I think I found all of these for $2 a piece. They were all on sale. I guess they didn't know what they had. Speaking of Operation Mindcrime again, I found Operation Live Crime, the live album. And this actually came out of a box set with the VHS, but the CD was the only thing there. But I don't mind because it's killer. And it's great hearing this whole album in its entirety. Then we have Black Sabbath Headless Cross. It's a great album too. I'd never really heard it. I've never really listened to a whole lot of the Tony Martin era Sabbath stuff, but it's killer. It's just some great stuff. That's a great album. David Gilmour, About Face. This is a great album as well. Just a great blues rock type, you know, kind of Pink Floyd sounding, not really. Yeah. Then found Priest Live. Great live album I had never heard until I bought this, and I'm glad I did. Then I found the Impellitteri EP with 4 songs on it, and this features Rob Rock on vocals. Some great stuff, just some, you know, Malmsteen type shred metal stuff. And then Ozzy Osbourne, Just Say Ozzy. This is the live EP with Zakk Wylde on guitar, and you know you've got Miracle Man, Bloodbath of Paradise, Shot in the Dark, and Tattooed Dancer, and then you have Sweet Leaf and War Pigs, which are Black Sabbath songs. So that's killer. Then I found Van Sant Brothers, My Kind of Country. Haven't heard this album yet, but I'm sure it's pretty good. Doc and Beast for the East. This album I didn't have on CD, so added that to my collection. Very happy I did. I can't wait for the new Doc and Live album to come out at the end of this month. Unfortunately, Pledge Music keeps pushing it back because the vinyl hasn't been pressed yet or whatever, and it's delayed, which sucks because we've waited this long already, but hopefully it gets here soon. Then I found this. I may have shown this in another video, but I don't know. It was just so long ago. Winger, Better Days Coming. And this one actually cost me $8, but cool thing about this, it is signed by the whole band on the second CD, or the DVD. So that's really cool. Then Badlands Voodoo Highway. This one cost me $4. It should have been way more, but I will gladly snag this for $4 because it's a great album. I'd love to own this on vinyl, but as you may know, this album is like a $60 album on vinyl, and I just refuse to pay that much for one single album unless it's something I really, really like. I mean, I really love this album, but I'm not paying that much for it, so the CD will work for now. And then finally, onto the vinyl. I know this is what you've all been waiting for. Some cool stuff. We got Gillan, Glory Road, one of his solo albums, and this is good, really good. I'd never heard it, but listened to it and it jams. Sounds Deep Purple-ish. And this actually has Bernie Torme on drums, who played with Ozzy after Brad Gillis left and before he got Jake. And then Mick Underwood from Fleetwood Mac, I believe, on drums. Then we have Mountain Live, The Road Goes On. Is that what it's called? I don't know. But this is just a live album. Got some... The Road Goes On Goes Ever On. That's what it's called. It's got 4 songs on it. Got Long Red, Waiting to Take You Away, and Crossroader. And then on the second side, it's got a almost 18-minute version of Nantucket Sleigh Ride. Just some killer rock stuff. Like I said, Leslie West, great guitarist. If you have never heard him, you're definitely missing out. Definitely go check this out. Then an album I've been looking for a while, Billy Thorpe, East of Eden's Gate. I love that song. And found this for a couple bucks and couldn't believe it. And this is on the Pasha label, however you say that. Then shout out to Greg the Egg, Blackmore Rules. I know he'll know this one. Prism Armageddon. They're a Canadian band. And I've never heard this album, but I've heard a couple of their other albums, and they were pretty good. So picked that up for a couple bucks. Then I bought Box of Frogs, Strange Land. This is their second album. If you've never heard of this, definitely go check it out if you like guitar stuff. What this is a project featuring the original rhythm section, the drums, and the bass player from the Yardbirds, with different guitarists and different singers. So, you know, on some of these songs you got Rory Gallagher, which is why I wanted this for my collection, but you also have Steve Hackett, Jimmy Page plays on one of the songs. Who else you got? That's about it. But, you know, different singers, famous singers, Graham Parker. So yeah, just check this out. I'll leave a link to some of this stuff down below as well. Because it's great. It's a great album. Like I said, if you like the Yardbirds type stuff. And then this was actually kind of a blind buy. Fierce Heart. This turned out to be like some AOR type stuff, which I love, so wasn't a bad pickup at all. Bought this at Half Price Books for a couple bucks. It looked interesting. Then I got a upgrade copy of Hank Williams Jr. Major Moves. This is my favorite Hank album, featuring my favorite song by Hank, Major Moves, the title track. My other copy was Beat to Hell. Got this copy that is in way better shape. Then found a copy of Love Gun by Kiss, but this isn't just any copy. It is a Spanish copy in Estéreo. And the song title's on the back. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but they're in Spanish. And it's actually called El Canon de Amor. My Spanish isn't very good, but that's what it's called instead of Love Gun. But this is pretty interesting to own. You know, I'm not a huge Kiss fan, but I couldn't pass that up for a couple bucks. Then found Hank Williams Jr. Greatest Hits. I have a copy of this as well, but it was Beat to Hell. So, upgraded it. Then Elvis for Everybody. Didn't have this album in my collection. I think it's just a compilation of different stuff, but it's still in the shrink. So that's really cool. Happy to add that to my collection since I didn't have it. Then we have Billy Thorpe, 21st Century Man. This is kind of a follow-up, sequel, whatever you want to call it, to Children of the Sun. It kind of continues on the story of the Children of the Sun. So pick this up. It's gold stamp promo. It's right there. And got the original inner sleeve, so definitely happy to add that to my collection. And a white label promo on the Elektra label. Then got Kingdom Come In Your Face. Bought this in a lot off eBay, and I've never heard this album. I've heard the first Kingdom Come album, but never heard this one, so definitely going to check this out. And this is a German pressing? Hold on, I'll look. No, it's a UK pressing made in England. So, yeah, definitely going to give that a listen because the first album rocked. So, yeah. And then also in that lot was this album, Gary Moore, Victims of the Future, a UK copy with the alternate cover. And it has an inner sleeve, and it's on the Virgin tin label. I have so many copies of that. I have 4 copies of that UK pressing of that, which is totally unnecessary, but, you know, why not if you're a huge fan of somebody. And I just keep buying them in lots, and they keep showing up. Put this back in here real quick, and then I will get back to the video. And then this album I actually was playing in the background, and I know Rob over at Black Star Vinyl caught on and knew what was playing in the background. It's a very underrated, in my opinion, album. Great AOR type metal band and album. And it is by the band White Sister. I'll leave a link to this down below because this is something else that not a lot of people know about, I don't think. They put out 2 albums. Their second album's a little harder to find. And it's not as good as the first one, in my opinion. It's still alright, but not as good, like I said. But this is a gold stamp promo on the EMI America label. Just great, like I said, AOR metal type stuff. We got Thin Lizzy, Thunder and Lightning. It's a great album, got some live stuff on it. and a studio album. I didn't have, and what's cool about this is the person that owned this before me actually wrote on the inner sleeve, which I thought was really cool, and really cool handwriting, and made a list of, all the people that played in Thin Lizzy, and, it has Gary Moore on there, John Sykes. Then on the other sleeve, this is the one that blew me away. It has the band names right here, but he also drew the album cover in the center ring right there, so I thought that was really cool, really unique. So that makes my copy unique. And then we got Hank Williams Jr. Man of Steel in the shrink, an upgrade copy as well. My other copy was pretty beat up, so definitely happy to have that. And then last but not least, Gary Moore, Run for Cover, Japanese pressing. Definitely an upgrade for my cover with the OB. It's on the Virgin 10 label, but this one's Japanese. And this came with the insert. And the cool thing about this is it had the original poster with it, and I'm going to attempt to unfold it right here. It's a big poster. I might hang this on my wall. I still haven't decided yet, but it's a really nice poster. Got a picture of Gary with his hammer guitar. So yeah, definitely happy to add that to my collection as well as all the other stuff. And I'm going to let you guys go because there is a train, as you can hear. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Peace out.